Hello everyone, welcome to this video lecturing on introductions about cognitive science. This is Thenmozhi, Assistant Professor of IT Department from Tech Multitech, Dr. Rangarajan, Dr. Sagundala Engineering College. So now let's dive deep into the topic that we're gonna discuss here. First, we will see about what is cognitive science, and then we will see about mental physical relations in philosophy, and then we will see from materialism to mental science, and also we will discuss about logic and the science of the mind. So before going into this video, we will discuss about what is cognitive science and where we can apply this cognitive science. In some of the fields we can apply this cognitive science. So let's see one by one. First, we will discuss about our cognitive science. So, cognitive science, it's nothing but it is an interdisciplinary study of the mind and its process. And some of the fields in psychology, neuroscience, and computer science, and uh, philosophy. So, in this cognitive science, we can apply in those fields. For example, understanding how people learn, make decisions, and use language and solve problems. So some specific examples we can include, that is understanding human learning and memory, like studying how children's ability to learn, remember, and solve their problems with their and then exploring language and communication, using computation models to understand how language is processed and generated. Speech recognition and generation, developing algorithms for machines to understand the produce human speech. And then we can apply this cognitive science in decisions making and problem solving. How we can apply in decision theory, analyzing how people make choice under different conditions, and also reasoning and logic, investigating the mental process involved in logical thinking and problem solving. And in artificial intelligence, developing AI systems that can reason, learn, solve problems like human. And in neuroscience and brain, we can apply this cognitive science by studying the brain activity associated with this cognitive process like perceptions, memory, and language. So in fMRI and EEG study, brain actions. So brain actions are involved. So let's see the applications in various fields of cognitive sciences. First one is a user interface designer. So here, designing the user friendly interfaces for computers and other devices based on how people think and process information. In marketing and advertising, understanding how people make purchasing decisions to improve marketing strategies. In education, developing effective teaching methods based on how people learn. In healthcare, developing the treatments for cognitive disorders and improve rehabilitation methods. In artificial intelligence, building AI systems that can mimic human intelligence. So in criminal psychology, we can apply this cognitive science for principles to understand criminal behaviors and improve law enforcement according to this technology. And next we will see about mental physical relation in philosophy. In mental physical relations philosophy, it refers to the philosophical problem of how mental phenomena relate to physical phenomena. That is nothing but thoughts, feelings, consciousness are related to the states of brain and neural activities. So here we can see different types of mind body problems. So mental physical relations, it is also we can call as mind body problems. So we will see the types of mind body relations. First one is a dualism. Dualism, it's nothing but the purpose is that the mind and body are fundamentally different substances. That is, mind is non-physical and brain is physical. So, for example, if you are anxious, but your heart rate increases. So anxious here is a mental state, and heart rate is a physical state. So your mental state causes the physical changes, right? So that is a dualism. Another next one is a materialism. So the mind is simply what the brain does. So mind can be explained in a physical terms. So if you are feeling happiness, so it automatically shows in your in your mind, right? So that is what I'm saying here. So another example is, if she believes and she will win, right? So our brain what says, the mind is simply does that. So the third one is the idealism. So idealism, it holds that only mental mental entities, real and physical objects, exist only as the perceptions or ideas. So mind or consciousness is the fundamental substances of reality. So for example, in idealism, your thoughts would be, if you are burning your hand, there is no independent physical hand or stove. So you will think about the stove, the heat, and the flame. So that is your idealism would be in that position. Next one is a functionalism. So functionalism, it's nothing but mental states are defined by what they and what and not what they are made of. For example, pain is in any state, whether it is in a brain or a machine, but that causes avoidance behavior. This means A of mental state. If AI of mental state, if it performs the right functions, right? Next one is a property dualisms. So in property dualisms, the brain is a physical, but it produces the non-physical appearance. So if your brain processes the color informations like physically, but the experience of seeing it is a non-physical. So next one is a non-reductive physicalism. So the mental states are based on physical brain processes but cannot be fully explained by them. For example, water is made up of H2O molecules, but the property of wetness can't be explained by just studying the molecule, right? So similarly, consciousness consciousness arises from neurons, but it involves higher level phenomena like self-awareness. Right. So that is we call as mental physical relations in philosophy. Next one is from materialism to mental science. So the in this materialisms to mental science, shift from physical only models to cognitive and information processing system. And mental phenomena now scientifically studied. So for example, pain as both physical and subjective experience. So, it's basically from materialisms to mental science describes the historical and conceptual progressions from purely physical explanations. So, in historical progressions, ancient materialisms, that is 5th and 4th century. In that 5th and 4th century, philosophers like Democritus and Epicurus proposed that everything, including the mind, consists of atoms, and in mental phenomena were explained as movements by especially fine atoms. The soul was viewed as material made of special smooth round atoms. In in 5th and 15th century, religious perspectives dominated, viewing the mind or soul as immaterial. So Thomas Aquinas attempted to recall Aristotelian philosophy with the Christians. So third one is a Cartesian revolution. So Descartes established mind-body dualisms, arguing that mind and matter are fundamentally different substances. So the next topic is logic and the sciences of the mind. So logic, foundation for reasoning and thought modeling, used in AI, linguistic, cognitive, and we know about the cognitive science, right? So cognitive science is interdisciplinary of mind and its process. That is That is perceptions, learning, how they are learning, and that is all in the cognitive science. So some of the key components are explained: formal logic and informal logic. So let first we will see about a formal logic. The formal logic is nothing but it is a modeling tool, and proportional law and that is a modeling tool, and proportional logic is models reasoning about a statement that are true or false. And third one is a logic. Predicate logic extends the proportional logic to handle relations and quantifiers. So in model logic addresses necessity, possibility, and knowledge and belief. Logical systems and mental representations. Mental representations might have logical structure, and logical forms might underlie aspects of language understanding. The question of whether thought itself occurs in a language of thought with the logical properties. Third one is a computation logic. In computation logic, programming languages like Prolog model or logical inference, automated theorem, proving simulations, logical reasoning. So expert systems used here logical rules make inferences from knowledge bases. Fourth one is logical fallacies and cognitive biases. So, in a formal fallacies, errors in the structure of logical arguments. In informal fallacies, errors in content or context. And fifth one is a model logic for mental states. So, in this epistemic logic, formal systems for reasoning about knowledge and intentional logic. In intentional logic, it's a systems for reasoning about intentions and goals. For practical exams for a detective reasoning, consider how we solve a simple logic puzzles. Either the butter or the maid committed the crime. If the butter committed the crime, he used the knife. The knife was not the murder weapon. So, using logical deductions, if the butter did it, he used the knife. The knife wasn't used, therefore, the butter didn't do it logic. So either the butter or maid did that. Since the butter didn't do it, the maid must have logical deductions. This demonstrates how logical reasoning processes can help us solve problems and reach conclusions from limited information. Conceptual relevance. Understanding conceptual systems that help students see how formal models can capture aspects of human reasoning. It provides tools for analyzing rational thoughts. Next, we will see about psychology within a cognitive science. Psychology, it's nothing experimental study of mind and behavior. It contributes to behavior analysis, memory, learning. So, integrates with the neuroscience, AI, and philosophy. So, next we will see about a science of information processing. So, science of information processing, it's a brain as an information processor. Focus on stimulates, that is input, and behavior. Behavior is a output. So, inspired computational models of the mind. Next, we will see about a cognitive neuroscience. So, neuroscience here links brain structures to cognitive functions. Some of the tools are in neuroscience, fMRI, EEG, and TMS. So, it is a studied memory, language, emotions, and attention. So, in a cognitive neuroscience, perception. First one is a perception. So perception converts sensory input into a meaningful experience. Bottom up and top down processing. So for example, recognizing faces and depth perception. So next one is a decision making. In decision making, choosing between alternatives using reasoning and emotion studied, which is studied in psychology, neuroscience, and AI. For example, choosing between two job offers. So we will making the decisions according to the type of a job. Next one is a learning and memory. Learning and memory, learning is a classical and operant conditioning, and memory or some of the memory types are short term memory and long term, and semantic and episodic. For example, learning a skill versus remembering a trip. The next one is a language understanding and processing. Processes are involved syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. So, which is studied in linguistics, psychology, and AI. For example, understanding ambiguous sentences. And also in language understanding and processing, there are different types of languages are there, like grammatic and syntax, studied in psychology, which is all studied in so some of the cell recording measures actively of individual using microelectrodes. So which is applied example, reading a text message. Let's see how different informations processing approaches might explain what happens when you read a text message. Serial approach. Your first perceive the visual features, then identify the letters, then combine them into words, then extract meaning, then from a response. Second one is a parallel approach. You simultaneously process the visual features, emotional tone, semantic content, and social context of the message. Third one is a connection approach. Network of units activated by familiar world patterns automatically trigger associated meanings and possible responses. So, fifth one is a dynamical approach. Your understanding emerges through the continuous interactions between the your emotional responses and your memories and your formulation of a reply. Conceptual relevance. The information processing approach gives students a conceptual framework for understanding how the mind works with the philosophy. Philosophy is shaped early understanding of mind, and also cognitive science integrates multiple disciplines. So, so finally, we conclude this video lecturing by philosophy shape early understanding of mind, and cognitive science integrates multiple disciplines. So we mainly focusing on this cognitive science on perceptions, decisions, learning, memory, and language. So thank you so much for this wonderful sessions. So let's we see in another video lecture. Thank you so much.